Hey, this is Stephanie Shea, and you're listening to Gundam at MAHQ.
Who shot you in the ass?
Who? That who would be you.
Me? I shot you?
Yeah.
I mean, I was shooting. Yeah, I did a lot of shooting. I mean, but I ain't saying I shot you in the ass. I mean, I ain't saying I didn't shoot you. But damn! Somebody shot you in the ass.
Tell me about it.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Gundam at MAHQ. This is one of your hosts, Neo, and joining me always is the Sobro and the Chris. Guys, say hello.
Hey, yo, man, welcome everybody to another episode. Hello.
How's it? Ooh, is this
smooth and mysterious?
Is this
I see.
smooth? Yeah, is this smooth, Chris? Is this the world's most interesting Chris?
I don't always do podcasts, but when I do, it's Gundam.
Oh,
Indeed.
That's actually a great commercial. It's too bad we can't find that guy to do that for us. Maybe as a cameo. Can you say this? That'd be that's actually an amazing commercial. Good job. You got your inner Don Draper and you going,
Oh, there you go.
Chris. Now it's time to overdrink, overeat, and get over sex.
Overdrink.
So.
Yes.
And then decide to buy the world of Coke.
That's
Pretty
right.
much, yeah.
Bring it full circle.
Yeah. Yep. You know, in our den we have a Samsung TV, and every so often, when you switch it from like the different inputs, it'll go. You know, Samsung's got like that live TV thing.
Yeah.
And they actually have an AMC channel where they'll just start showing like all their shows. And the last
John Hamm
couple
just appears.
Yeah, last couple weeks it's been Mad Men, and I'm like, you know, usually I just switch it over, and I'm like, you know what? Let me watch it. I've been finding myself like, oh yeah. You know, it was a pretty good show. I mean, some parts were better than others, but yeah, it was definitely
When it wasn't drowning in Don Draper's ennui.
Yeah.
Oh, how hard it is to be an attractive, rich successful white man in the 1960s.
Oh, the struggle.
How awful my life is. Nobody understands me.
I assumed
Making
another
rough
man's
sex with 5,000 women.
I assumed another man's identity and am enjoying something that nobody else would enjoy. It's like, oh my gosh.
Man.
Yeah, definitely. So
Tough times.
I know, right? But I do give it credit though. It does go some of the social issues on there.
Oh yeah.
Like when they get the black secretary, and then the whole thing with Joan. I did see the episode where he's the only guy is like, don't sleep with the one guy to get the Jaguar. Like the guy that's the worst philanderer is saying, don't do something. Don't do this. And everybody else is like, yeah, do it. So, but all right, this isn't Mad Men podcast. This is Gundam. And this is episode 310, and we're going to be doing what Solbro put on here, the Star Trek Double Down.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that a chicken sandwich at?
It was.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
the
remember.
Double Down.
Yeah.
It was like the double down to a heart attack, right?
It was.
Like,
Yes.
it was like it was like a chicken sandwich. It was like a piece of chicken with chicken as the bun and cheese and sauce.
Yep.
And,
2 pieces of chicken with vegetables in between, I guess. But I'm sure they
were
killed
they
a few
vegetables? I mean, were they vegetables with all the vitamins and minerals cooked out?
It might have been just cheese. Who knows? Cheese and bacon.
I thought it was cheese and sauce and bacon. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god.
One might also call this a science fiction double feature.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is true. That is true. But is it really truly science fiction? I mean, earlier today, before we went on, Chris, the true science fiction of the benevolent billionaire in Double O, like it's not the giant robots and the
Call of Duty.
Yeah, pretty much. So. But yeah, we're going to be catching up. I know this is going to be a bittersweet one for Solbro, because he gets to talk about one of his favorite Star Trek properties, Lower Decks. But it's the last time, yeah. So season 5.
Hopefully
not.
It's
done, right?
It's looking like it's done for now.
Here we go.
Animated series have had a history of coming back. I don't know if this one will, but we'll see. If anything, it just
not going to give us a Solbro guarantee.
No, not at all.
Well, the way Paramount's going,
yes,
there's no guarantees of anything.
No guarantee. Now, if Star Trek gets sold to someone else,
or otherwise,
if the property gets sold to somebody else, there might be a chance. But as Paramount as it is now, I'm not holding my breath. So we'll see.
I don't think anybody would want to buy it.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do some, if you're gonna continue a Star Trek animated property, do Prodigy, please. Season 3, I'd rather see that than this.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Yeah. And then I guess technically it's a TV movie, but the first streaming movie of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Which is Star Trek Section 31, which gives us the continuation of Philippe Giorgio, who was in Discovery, and what happened? She kind of goes away in Discovery. I think we even covered that season, right? When
I want to say
she faded away and she decided to escape and go into the Federation. So
the Guardian Forever eventually took her back into the past. So yeah. And then we don't really we'll get into that when we talk about the movie.
Yep. So yeah, we got some good stuff here. So guys, anything as I saunter over to Larry King Memorial News Studio for some Neo's listener submitted news?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watching us live. If you guys have not ever gone, if you're a first-time listener, make sure to hit that follow button here over on youtube.com/MAHQDOTNET. That's the new URL for our channel. So MAHQDOTNET over here on YouTube. And visit MAHQ.net. Hit that favorites button. And make sure to, other than that, thank you guys for your support. Also, thank you to Dalo. He linked the stream over on the Discord. So, Dalo, thank you very much. I appreciate you doing that. Other than that, I'll turn it over to you, Chris.
Well, for those who are listening to the live stream, this is relevant, and for those who are listening later, not so much. But we're less than a week away from the 25th anniversary of MAHQ.
Wow, man!
Oh yeah, that's
already.
right.
Yo,
that's Tuesday, huh? Oh yeah.
Oh, man, good shit.
Wow.
I will say go make sure that you visit MAHQ on April 1st. There's going to be a good amount of
I can't wait to see what that is. Yeah.
Sweet. Yo, man, silver anniversary.
Some familiar faces you will see, and some new faces, and some new mecha content of things that are currently not there. So that's the teasers that I'll give.
Nice.
The dream has come true. The Zoid section. The unveiling of the Zoid section.
It's finally here.
Why'd you have to go and ruin it?
Oh, damn it. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. No, I have that's a pretty safe bet that won't be the new thing. The new content.
You would be correct.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say no Zoids. So, sorry, all those wishing for that. So, but
two of you.
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. Oh, and I wanted to let everybody know, like, continue to, if you haven't gone to our Blue Sky and joined us on Blue Sky, go there. We are no longer on Nazi Twitter. And Chris, did you ever make a decision about Facebook? I know that was something you discussed down the road. I don't know if you even want to bring it up, but I know it's something you guys were talking about, but I
The
would say,
Zuck has not done anything worse than what he's done so far, so we're still in kind of a wait and see mode. Of course,
yeah,
if you want to go somewhere that's not run by Nazis or shithead billionaires or shithead billionaire Nazis, there is always Mecha Talk as an option where you only have
yep,
to deal with me as the dictator.
There you go.
yeah, yeah. And you're like a good dictator, right? Like, I mean, if there's such a thing.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
You just ensure that the trains run
course,
on
yeah.
time and the garbage
Yeah,
is picked up,
sure.
right? None of that other stuff. No banning, right? No, no. Or is that still going on? Nah,
You know.
banning. I don't know about any banning. Never heard about it before. So, cool. So, guys, any news before I go into some of these listener submitted news?
Nah, man, go for it.
All right.
I got
First
some
one
news
here.
to catch up on, I imagine.
I will say
We gotta
this:
get-
if someone does not mention a certain thing, I'm gonna mention it after the news is over. But by all means,
Okay.
I'll let you do your thing, sir.
Oh.
Is it that
Don't
sixth
spoil
season of
the
Lower Decks?
process.
You bet that the surprising outcome of season 6 of Lower Decks. Yes, you
It's
guessed
come
it.
true. You wished it into existence.
Who knew?
First one here comes from Philly Gundam fan, coming from the Anime News Network. It looks like Mamoru Oshii still wants to make his third Ghost in the Shell film. It's confirmed he's still interested in making a Ghost in the Shell film during the Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence 20th anniversary talk. Oh my gosh. On March 1, he said he has almost made a third film, but the project did not come to fruition. He also elaborated that if he is allowed to tie up one loose end, he would make the film still. So, what do you guys think? Is something you're interested in? Or, I mean, Innocence 2 wasn't exactly a great movie, so.
I
mean, I enjoyed it more on a
Yeah.
rewatch because last year they did the 20th anniversary theatrical re-release,
Yeah.
and the emotional core of the story is good of Professor Bato's philosophy lecture. The part that actually has aged the poorest is some of the digital compositing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Really
Looks
off.
really bad.
Oof. Yeah, some of that looks kind of rough.
Like, real rough? Like,
Not the worst, but not the best either. Like,
yeah.
it
Noticeable.
looks like a product of its time.
Okay.
Him coming back again, I don't know what he has to say about thematically what he would still want to say. So I'm
Or
not
loose
against it, but I'm also not super buzzed about it.
Yeah. Well, it gives me incentive to watch it. I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe I'll go back and rewatch it, see if I feel the same as you guys do. So, all right. Next one here comes from MCT Dread. Looks like Gundam GUX beginning film earns a total of a little over $1 million. Now, he submitted this on March 13th, so I'm sure it's probably a little bit larger now, but I guess that was probably the first week, so I guess that's pretty good, right? I mean...
Yeah, is that just in the U.S. or even in Japan?
The U.S.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
It's heard way more than that in Japan.
Yeah.
The second highest grossing
Nice.
Yeah, it's probably
Gundam movie
Avatar.
in Japan.
Yeah, it's probably Avatar, the Avatar of Japan. So,
That's fantastic.
But yeah, good stuff. MTT Dread comes back. He says tomes. Well, let's see. Prime Video is beginning an AI dubbing pilot program for select movies and series.
Oh God.
I guess they're going to be using AI robot voice to do dubbing for us. I mean, there's a lot of they have a lot of language tracks on a lot of their stuff, so I guess this is just making it easier because you don't have to get people to do it. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Maybe not easier, but definitely cheap.
Oh yes, I'm
the
sorry.
operative word.
Right. We're leveraging our financial resources to maximize shareholder value and customer offerings. Right. That's the way we should say it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an AI dubbing system that will translate select content on the company's streaming service into other languages. It says here in the article, I guess YouTube kind of did something. They had a similar tool in 2024. And of course, Meta's, always last to the game, announced plans to automatically dub and lip sync. I guess what? Racist chants on reels and stuff. So I don't know.
I watch a few independent news channels that actually use this technology already to translate people from other countries when they're reporting on the news, instead of actually having a translator to just have someone do it in AI do it in real time, and it's kind of trippy to watch. But this is coming, and it's unfortunate for anybody who usually does this job and as a human being. So, man, that's crazy.
You know what? I'm glad that Larry's gone, because I don't know. I mean, the fact that he could be replaced by AI by just saying Dolores and Poughkeepsie. Hello.
You can't replace that, man. You can't replace all that.
I don't know. You probably could,
man.
Yeah.
With the AI of Larry's voice.
Well, yeah, everything's programmed in there.
Damn it.
So, yeah. So
it's not the resurrection I wanted.
No, not at all. It's funny though, because you do hear those voices, and they're pretty good to a certain point, and then like certain words or conjunctions or something, or as they kind of transition to different statements, you'll hear like the robot voice kind of creep in there. You're like, oh, geez. But it's always fun though to see, like, going on certain people's AI and asking them if they're a dick.
Yeah.
I mean, ChatGPT will tell you who's a dick. So, next one here from MCT Dread. George Lucas axed Star Wars series cost $40 million an episode and would have blown up the franchise.
Oh yeah.
Let me see here. This is from Variety, so it's actually an article. So this isn't bullshit.
Damn.
Okay. George Lucas's axed series, Star Wars series, cost $40 million an episode and would have blown up the franchise. Disney would have never bought Lucasfilms if it got made. So let's see, what is this all about? It looks like George Lucas's Star Wars producer Rick McCallum recently appeared on an episode of the Young Indie Chronicles podcast and teased what would have been Star Wars Underworld, an ambitious Oh, that was the thing he talked about forever, right,
Yep.
Chris?
Yeah, the Underworld series.
Yeah. And this would have been one of the last Star Wars projects Lucas was working on before he sold the franchise for $4 billion. That's still a good price for Disney, even though they've had some ups and downs, but still, the merchandising alone's probably made that back. The series would have been set between the Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and would have acted as a bridge between the original. So basically, Andor. That's what Andor became. In the prequel trilogy, I think we had over 60 scripts, like third draft scripts, McCallum said. They brought the most wonderful writers in the world. Oh, that sounds familiar. These were dark scripts. They were very sexy. They were violent. They were absolutely wonderful, complicated, challenging scripts. Okay, that's just a bunch of words. He said it would have blown up the whole Star Wars universe, and Disney would have never offered George to buy the franchise. So he's saying it was going to be $40 million an episode. So you're talking like the early 2000s, $40 million an episode. What the hell were they making it on? Like gold-plated cameras.
The cost of the series is, the cost of the series is not a new thing. Essentially, like what Lucas was trying to do couldn't is he needed to have the volume, and they didn't have the volume yet.
Right.
Nope.
Okay.
So he couldn't make the series at an affordable cost like The Mandalorian. So that's the reason they shelved it. That, to produce it the same way they did the movies would have just made every episode too expensive. Because
that's what he was going to do. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that doesn't make any sense.
The production
Yeah.
technology was not at the level, and it's amusing that like by the end of that same decade, after he's already stepped out, that Lucasfilm does have the volume, and now they can do what he wanted to do, but that series is still dead.
Yeah, just to add on to this, I saw a clip of Katie Sackhoff's podcast. I think last week, Ronald D. Moore for All Mankind and Battlestar Galactica was on her show, also talking about working on this as well.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess he did work on Deep Space Nine. Yeah, absolutely. I was just mentioning some of
And Next Generation.
And Next Generation he also worked on too. He talked about Next Gen also on that episode. It's a pretty good episode for those who want to check that out. It's on YouTube. But yeah, he also talked about working on this show as well. Yeah.
On the Star Wars show?
On the Star Wars Underworld show, he worked on.
Oh wow!
He said series had over 40 plus scripts written, which is what the article you have also says as well. So yeah,
it's 60 in the article. Yeah. That's nuts.
And just as you mentioned, 40 million.
You're all locked in a vault somewhere next to Star Wars Renegades.
Yep. There you go.
In the Christmas
the Christmas special.
Yeah, the Christmas special.
You got it.
Which I love it because I mean I think there's people employed at Disney just to search that on the internet because every so often you'll see it crop up and then it's like
Adding Song of the South.
Yeah. that's your whole job.
Yeah, watch that come out.
Oh boy.
Oof.
Yeah. MCT Dread comes back with another one here. Looks like Eureka 7 launches a 20th anniversary celebration with new visuals and new special video. I heard there's a rumor on this. They're doing a new series on this, or potentially a new series.
Oh,
Let me
shit.
see here.
Yeah, that's been hinted at. And if it's the same shitty director, who is a really bad writer and has been ruining everything since after the original TV series, like I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
That guy just needs to quit it.
Yeah, so April
I know
17th.
Yahtzee will say something in the chat about it.
Shit.
I know it's coming.
Dollar will too, because he's over in the Twitch chat, and Dollar's also a big fan of the original series. So, man, I wonder what their thoughts are. I'm sure they'll write it.
I didn't know what their thoughts are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, don't do it. Yeah. Yeah, April 17th will be 20 years since the premiere of the first episode of Eureka 7.
I still remember it was new. God damn. Goodness.
It was a big deal when it was on Adult Swim.
Yo, Dollar writes, and I quote, "I do not give a fuck," 3 exclamation marks, and a 1. He's that mad.
So I guess that's not an endorsement? I mean, I would take that as not an endorsement.
It's a singing endorsement.
It's an anti-endorsement.
Anti-endorsement. It's an endorsement not to do it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that sequel was bad. AO was just unwatchable at one point.
Tough times.
It was just
more like most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's like at least Section 31 was just an hour and a half.
He adds, leave the poor series alone. Damn.
That's funny.
Well, I would say the marvelous Christian of Asarala from The Expanse. One of my favorite lines of hers. She is talking to Holden, and in that very smoky voice of hers, tells him, "Don't put your dick in it. It's been fucked enough already."
Oh my god.
Yes.
In describing a political situation. So
yeah,
that's how I would describe
yes.
Eureka 7.
Well said. Wow, man.
Yahtzee says Eureka 7 is like Dunbine. Don't watch anything after the original.
There you go.
That is correct.
Fair warning.
Yeah, it does have that, doesn't it? Yeah. It's definitely the argument not to make a series or make a sequel or a franchise out of something that was good. definitely one of those things. All right, MCT Dread comes back. Aniplex and Crunchyroll establish a joint venture.
Yes, exactly.
Hayate. So this is from Deadline.com. It looks like they're going to have a joint venture. And they're going to be investing in establishing an anime production joint venture, Hayate, which will be involved in developing and producing anime content for Crunchyroll's global streaming service. So yeah, they're just going into the Netflix thing. So they're just gonna start crapping out stuff probably, because that's the thing. You just need content at this point. Anime's popularity in the world is increasing. An estimated $5.5 billion US for streaming services globally in 2023. Wow, that's pretty impressive, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, what's like Netflix and them? That's like tens of billions, right? So, I mean, that's pretty good, I guess. Well, it's probably including the Netflix stuff, because it said streaming services globally. So cool. I don't know. I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it's so early in the thing. What do you guys think? You excited? Don't care? Whatever?
I expect this to cost more than the average streaming service. I'll tell you that.
Okay. Chris, are you saying something?
No commento.
No comment.
No commento. Okay. Well, I do want your commento on this. It looks like from Variety.com, it looks like Coyote vs. Acme is been rescued after Warner Brother Axe's finished films. So let me see what this article says, because I know nothing about this. I guess Soboro knows about this because he's going, oh yeah,
Step into Slim Jim.
Step into Coyote vs. Acme.
Hell yeah.
For more than a year after Warner Brothers shelved Coyote vs. Acme for tax incentives, the Looney Tunes-inspired film is close to coming to find a new home. Oh, wow. So it looks like Catch Up Entertainment is expected to land distribution rights for it, and through the sale has not been closed. Price tag is reportedly $50 million range. Catch Up Entertainment is an independent distributor. Recently spearheaded the theatrical release of The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, after Warner Brother Discovery decided to shop that film as well. That opened up in theaters on March 14th and grossed $3.9 million in the domestic box office to date. So, oh wow, it's got John Cena in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's a live action anime hybrid. Wow, they haven't done one of those in a while, have they? That Tom and Jerry
I don't know,
one.
since the last Space Jam.
Yeah, that's true.
LeBron James, that was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, and I try to forget that one because it's like it wasn't bad, but it was like we really didn't need this. Like, I mean, no offense, Keen. You just didn't, algorithm. That was the. So yeah, it was a $30 million tax write-off. Wow, $30 million tax write-off, and they're about to get $50 million from this distributor. Wow, that's
$20 million profit.
some good finance and accounting people at Warner Brothers. Maybe Zaslow knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they weren't going to let it go for anything less than 70, but it looks like Catch Up Entertainment was able to negotiate it down to 50. One of the strangest things happened though in lieu of this, in lieu of the movie that they just released. What is it? The Day the Earth Blew Up. About a day or two before that movie came out, all the Looney Tunes archive was taken off of HBO Max. It's all gone. If you want to watch the Looney Tunes, you can't watch it there. It's vanished. Apparently, word on the street is they're looking to sell the IP and the library to someone. So I don't know who. I just know that is what the word on the street is. So this happened in light of that, and it's cool that Catch Up Entertainment is brokering for this because I've been wanting to see it. I know that there's been a lot of talk about how good this movie is behind closed doors. They've shown it to, they screened it to a lot of people, and people had positive things to say. Will Forte is in it as well, and it's akin to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the way that the way the movie flows, and also the technology involved and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see it. I can't wait for it to come out. I'll see it in theaters, man. I do want to support this because it took a lot for it to get out of tax jail. So I'd like to put my money where my mouth is on this one.
Actually, I'm just impressed with what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they got a $30 million deduction on their taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Then now they've made a $40 million or 40% profit if you take that loss. I mean, Wow, you know what? Huh.
What's crazy?
That's impressive.
What's crazier is that the sequel to Scoob was also shelved because of tax write-offs too. It makes me wonder if that's going to get picked up. I don't know if it's true or if it's
Yeah,
rumor.
it's what the article is saying here.
Yeah.
It says this was the third casualty of Warner Brothers post-pandemic cost-cutting measures.
Mm-hmm.
They had done Batgirl, of course, and then the kid-friendly Scoob Holiday Hunt as tax write-offs.
Yeah, but
They were all greenlit under the former studio's boss, Jason Killar, who departed in 2022.
Yeah.
And then Catch Up Entertainment was founded in 2012 and has released independent films such as Michael Keaton's comedy Goodrich. That was actually a pretty good movie. Hypnotic and then Memory. I didn't see those, but that's interesting.
I think in light of Netflix announcing the live action Scooby-Doo series, that might actually get picked up too. So it's just a guess, but they just announced the other day that that a live action Scooby-Doo series is being worked on now at Netflix. So who knows? We might see.
Well,
that
if I was
eventually.
Paramount, I would hire the accounting and finance people from Warner Brothers because they could have done this with Section 31.
Yeah.
I mean,
Damn.
Polish a turd. But yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah. Okay, cool. Chris, anything on that? You excited about Coyote versus Acme?
If it sees the light of day, sure.
Yeah, that's true. So, next one here comes from MCT Dread. Marvel unveils Avengers Doomsday cast with MCU mainstreams and X-Men Fantastic Four stars. So this is from the wow, what is going on? We got these actual like news sites, man.
Yeah,
it's not all these bogus ones we used to get. This is good stuff, man. They're making me into. I might actually become an entertainment newscaster.
Who knew?
So you never know. 6 years after Avengers Endgame became one of the biggest movies of all time, the Avengers are finally assembling again during a 5.5 hour live stream. Marvel Studios unveiled a cast for Avengers Doomsday, which is a mix of MCU mainstays and from the defunct X-Men movies and the Fantastic Four. So you got Tom Holland and Chris Evans. And then let's see who else they got here. Chris Hemsworth, Hiddleston, and Anthony Mackie, Paul Rudd, Letitia Wright, Simu Liu, Danny Ramirez, and Winston Duke.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. So then the cast of the upcoming May release of the Thunderbolts is also represented with Sebastian Stan, Florence Pugh, White Russell. Oh yeah. He was really good, actually.
Yeah, I enjoyed
that guy. Was a good actor. Yeah, I mean, he played such a dickhead so well. David Harbour, Hannah Joan Common, Louis Pullman. Okay, and then they revealed, oh wow, they're gonna bring out Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Oh yeah,
crap! Man. I'm in, man. James Marsden and Rebecca Romaine. Oh my God, this is like
number one.
Damn, dude. Damn. And then joining them is going to be Alan Cumming, Kelsey Grammer. And then
the homie.
Yeah, Channing Tatum. Sorry. Oh wow, finally.
Yeah, man, he's
about
to make a name for himself.
Finally. Yeah, finally.
What's that, boy?
Exactly. And then Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby, Iban Moss Bachrach, The Thing, Bachrach, and Joseph Quinn. I don't know those three people. I know Pedro Pascal. Who the fuck doesn't know him?
Joseph Quinn was that freaking guy from the last season 4 of Stranger Things.
The rocker
Eddie Munson.
Yeah.
Played Master of Puppets.
Oh, okay. I'm in. I'm in.
Do you remember? Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
And Evan, blah blah blah. He's one of the guys from The Bear.
Yeah, but he was also in Andor. He was the guy that suggested
The Bear.
He was the guy who suggested to Andor that they run off with the money that they stole during the heist, and then Andor shot him. That's the dude. That's the actor.
And who's Vanessa Kirby?
She's a very beautiful blonde. So
okay,
I haven't seen anything with her in it. So
she was in The Crown.
That's there you go. I have not seen it.
Okay, rich season because there was like multiple. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, whatever.
of this a season.
And then the guy that played Namor, Tenak, Huerta,
Meha.
Menjin, Meha. Sorry. Okay, and then oh wow, he had some sexual misconduct allegations. Oh my god,
Yeah.
what's going on with all this stuff?
I don't know much. I
With
don't
some
know what came
sexual
up.
misconduct allegation.
Yeah.
So sources say that even with 26 actors announced, Marvel wasn't done with revealing the entire cast. Holy crap.
Yep.
What is it? It's going to take like freaking 15 minutes just to do the cast list.
Oh, brother,
I mean,
you should have saw the stream. I don't know if you heard about it, but they had a stream to
it's
announce
5.5
all these
hours,
names.
they said.
Yeah, 12 minutes for every name that dropped. So it's like people just sat and watched that all day. I had it up in the background.
You just broke the news article.
Yeah.
They're saying the event was simple. It included a shot of the director's chair with a star's name on back. Every 20 minutes or 12 minutes or so, music from the next actor's movie would play. The camera would shift to a new chair and name, and it ended up with a swell. And then they revealed Robert Downey Jr. too. Yeah, that's right. Holy crap! Does this have the danger of having too many people in it? Like, there does come a point where it's like that's cool, but
I mean, the other last two Avengers movie had a huge cast, and when you see them all in that picture they took, it's a lot of people. So this doesn't surprise me at all. So, and there's more people to be announced.
I will say though, you're never gonna top Endgame.
Yeah,
that's just not possible.
You can't
and also, every single movie the Russo brothers have directed since Endgame has been a massive flop, including most recently The Electric State on Netflix, a $300 million plus bomb.
Even the ones they've produced, except for one, which is Everything Everywhere All at Once, they produced that movie, and that's probably the best movie that's come out of their creative group. Yeah,
how much were those two guys even involved?
I
doubt
the Daniels. Yeah,
the only success that they've been involved with is producing and writing those Extraction movies with Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, true. Yeah,
have been big on Netflix, but otherwise, every movie they've directed since Endgame has flopped. Big time.
Actually, I'm gonna say something, and I don't want people piling on it.
Oh,
we watched The Electric.
The
Electric State.
What happened?
It wasn't bad.
Oh man,
like it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Like
was it worth spending over $300 million on to make?
Oh no, definitely not. I mean but that's not my decision. Yeah. I'm just there to watch it for whatever the $15 or $17 a month. I mean for that it was, if I break it out by 30 days, it was worth it, I think. But I didn't know it was that bad until after we saw it, and then I saw reviews and I was like, it's not great, but I mean, it's $300 million. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Sorry. I get that.
Here's a question from Swordfish. How many of those are major roles, though? Even they must have budget cranes. I'm assuming that some of these actors named for this movie are only going to be in 1 to 2 scenes. I think it's going to be a lot like Infinity War, where a lot of the teams are separated until all the storylines coalesce. So I don't expect a lot of these people to have too much screen time that are getting announced. They're just going to be in there.
How much screen time did M'Baku have in Endgame?
Yeah, not much. Yeah,
not much. Like nothing. Like, can you even think of a scene that he was in?
Yeah, I just the big battle for the most part.
Exactly.
I know you said like
big,
1 or 2 things.
Big
and that's
gray
it.
muddy battle.
Yeah, exactly.
The big gray muddy battle with all the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yazi asks, have they written any movies since Endgame? Really, the people who write the movies are Marcus and McFeely. I know this much. I know only one of those two are writing these Avengers movies coming up here. But Marcus and McFeely did write Electric State together, and from most of the reviews, it wasn't well received. So I don't know what's happening with Agbo and
it was pretty bland.
Yeah, that's
it was pretty bland. It was kind of like, I guess script by numbers, I guess you would say, or it wasn't anything like there was. I mean, it was kind of nice because it wasn't just a twist to have a twist, but I mean, I wouldn't say it was revolutionary, or it didn't have me on the edge of my seat. I'll put you that much.
The road's been rough, man. I will suggest their podcast though, Pizza something Film School, which is on YouTube. It's a really good podcast. They talk to a lot of people who work behind the scenes on movies and actors and stuff. So it's a good show. But other than that, I haven't really been too impressed with their work outside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
They're also pro AI, and they can go fuck themselves.
I heard about that. Yeah, that's a little
They're
rough.
investing in a company, and tell myself, like, imagine you could get home from work and like give a prompt to a AI and it creates a movie with you in it. Like,
Oh
no,
no,
that
no, I'm
sounds
good.
absolutely fucking horrible, and like no creative person should be involved with that or endorsing anything like that. So fuck those guys.
Yeah, I'm not down with that at all. So yeah, that's the news there.
Yeah, it makes me. I mean, just hearing that they focused more on like the cast, like this person will be there, this person may be there, probably means that the script may not be very good. Because I don't remember during the heyday of Marvel where they would really, a lot of times they would keep that shit secret, like who would show up. Like I'm kind of like, I feel like they've gotten away from the formula, but like you said, Chris, I don't think you can recreate it. I think that was just that.
You're not going to
What,
surpass
11
anything.
years? Yeah, that 11 years was just. It just. I mean, it was just special. I mean, even its lowlights weren't that bad. So, yeah, looking at you, Iron Man 2. That's a bad movie.
Woo! It's
That's
tough.
a real
We
bad
we
movie.
almost done with the news because
Yep.
we're,
Let me
we're
see. Just quick, two quick things from Yazi. SRW announced 2025 worldwide release, and then he has a link to the Metroid Prime 4 trailer. So you guys go ahead and take a look at that. Thank you, everybody, for your submissions. And Stolbro, did we miss something that you were
I'll just be
supposed to
quick.
be? You were teasing.
Just want to remind people that on April the 4th, April the 5th, I'm sorry, on Adult Swim, Shinichiro Watanabe's new anime comes out called Lazarus. It looks amazing. They just dropped the opening for the series today. It's on YouTube. If you guys haven't seen it yet, it looks every bit Bebop-esque, and they have music scored by Kamasi Washington, who's a famous jazz artist, Bonobo, and I forget the name of the third musician, but it looks amazing. It's going to be 13 episodes. It's going to be airing on Adult Swim. If you miss it on Adult Swim, you can watch it next day on HBO Max. And yeah, I'm thrilled for this. If you watch the fight scenes in this show, they are directed by Chad Stahelski, or choreographed by Chad Stahelski, who directed the John Wick movies. So it looks phenomenal. There's trailers out for it now. The Japanese trailer is awesome. And if anything, watch everything you can about it, because I think the show's gonna rock. So yeah, Lazarus, it's right around the corner. Hopefully we'll talk about it. Apparently it's in the universe of Cowboy Bebop. I don't know how, but according to Watanabe, it is. So I'm excited for it. We'll see what happens.
Cool. All right, Chris, anything?
no.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for submitting news articles. And if you ever have anything, just go to the Neo's Listeners News Articles thread in the Gundam section of the Mecha Talk forum.
Ooh.
And so what do you guys want to do? You want to do the good or the bad? What's first? What's first?
Oh, shit.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Let's go.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Okay. Chris, you want to give us a quick summary of the overall plot, the script by numbers plot of Star Wars Section 31?
All right, so Section 31 is the first Star Trek streaming movie, and it was directed by Olatunde Osunsanmi, who was one of the producers and directors on Discovery. So if you've seen that name before, that's where it was. And
that's right.
very briefly, it's following, as Neo alluded to earlier, season 3 of Discovery. We saw Philippa Georgiou, the former emperor of the Terran Empire from the Mirror Universe. She stepped through the Guardian of Forever because she could no longer stay in the 32nd century with the Discovery crew, and she disappeared to times unknown. Well, apparently, that time unknown was the early 24th century. Now she's running a nightclub space station thing, and Section 31 comes to pay a visit because they want her help with a job, because someone has been spotted, and once she finds out what it is, she decides to help them because it's a relic from her past. and said relic is that when she was the emperor, she had a weapon called the Godson created that could basically like destroy all life everywhere. And somehow it's ended up in the Prime universe in the present, and they're trying to track it down. We get some flashbacks into Giorgio's past and how she betrayed her lover at the end of this like
Hello?
is
Oh, okay. The audio dropped out for a second. Sorry.
weird. So she's with this team of weirdos. The team commander is a augment from the eugenics taken in the 24th century. A Delton, who were those bald people from the first Star Trek movie that make you super horny with their pheromones. Dude in a mech.
Oh, the audio keeps dropping out. If you guys, I'm gonna drop out and come back in for a second. Let me see if that helps to fix it. I apologize. Don't know why this is happening. That is crazy. All right, let's see if I can get back in. All right, everybody's dropping out. Going back in. Stand by, everybody. We're fixing it. Let's go. All right, I'm back. All right, testing 1 2 1 2 testing.
Hello.
All right,
What happened?
All right. When you were speaking, was it the same way for you, Neil, or you could hear Chris?
Yeah, you were dropping in and out.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I think it was just
yeah.
Discord.
But you were talking about you were breaking down the members of the team. Go for it.
All right, so we got a augment from the eugenic wars who's been frozen and brought back. We have a Delton, which are those bald people that make you super horny with their alien pheromones. Wacko in a mech suit, and insane little microscopic alien controlling a Vulcan robot.
Yeah.
And randomly Rachel Garrett from Starfleet. Yes, the future captain of the Enterprise C,
Yeah.
Rachel Garrett. Why she's in this movie is anybody's guess.
It's so wild, man.
So they're trying to get their hands on this MacGuffin, and we find out that the villain who wants to use this weapon is her former lover, San, from the Mirror Universe. No explanation is offered how a guy from the Mirror Universe in the mid-23rd century is somehow alive in the early 24th century to be crossing over into the Prime Universe, but I guess that doesn't really matter. There's like a hole between the two universes, and he plans to have a bunch of shitheads come over from Mirror Universe and take over the Prime Universe, and they have to stop him. And there's not much more to say. They stop him, and he's dead, and that's it. And that's it. End the story. Not very good. Not very special. That's it.
Yeah.
Sobro, why don't you give us your comments on Section 31?
Man, I went into this thing, it was going to be the worst thing I ever saw. And I'm not saying it's great at all. I did expect bad when I started this movie, and I actually had a good time. It's not great. It's B-movie material straight up. But I have been a fan of Michelle Yeoh for decades, man. Seeing her on screen makes me smile. So I love her playing this character. And although this movie is clunkily put together, I did have fun watching it. By no means is that an endorsement. I liked some of the energy here, but it feels like 3 episodes of a show clunkily put together. The story doesn't have as much flow as I would want it to see. I don't think the cast has a lot of chemistry either. I appreciate seeing Rachel Garrett in this, but really there's nothing to make her to kind of like tie you into yesterday's Enterprise's Rachel Garrett at all. Like, I thought there might have been like, so you would get some foreknowledge about her future in this, but you didn't get any of that. I thought there would actually be time travel in this show since Philippa had to travel back in time to get there through the Guardian Forever. But this is more so, it felt like the budget really limited this movie. And it definitely shows. I mean, you had a few.
Blaming the budget?
Yeah,
I don't think. I don't think the budget
the
bothered. I
writing
don't think the
too. The
budget did
writing,
it. I think the writing did it.
but the writing also helps to constrain the budget too, because you can write anything, but they'll have you rewrite a script based on how much that script would cost to make. So it can be a combination of both in times. So I don't know what handicapped this movie, but it's not at all the kind of movie that I would hope to see. I wanted more a Mission Impossible type movie for this, and not like Mission Impossible on the level of a Tom Cruise movie, because we're definitely not getting that. That costs hundreds of millions of dollars, but more like Mission Impossible the TV show, which is funny because both Mission Impossible and Star Trek have a common point in origin, and that's Desilu Studios. So kind of their history is intertwined. So it'd have been kind of a nice throwback to see that. And what we got is kind of like we got a spy espionage thing. We got a whodunit out of this, but it was to me limited by the locations that they chose to film it in and the sets they had it on. It looks like they blew their budget really on the club that Filippo runs, Giorgio runs, and there wasn't too many scenes there, but I did appreciate the fight scenes in it, because it's always a joy to see Michelle Yeoh fight, even in this day and age. But at the same time, it just seemed like a very limited story. They established this relationship between Giorgio and Son, which you have a big gap in, and they bring you back into it towards the end of the movie, but you don't really feel it as much as you should. I actually felt more with the opening scene. I thought the opening scene was actually pretty strong, where she returns home to see her family, and you already know what's going to happen. You're sitting there, it's like, wait for the other shoe to drop. She's going to kill them, isn't she? And sure enough, she does poison her family in order to fulfill the final step of whatever Hunger Games they have to play in order for her to become the new emperor. But she's almost an irredeemable character, but that's the draw for her to me, is that she's trying. And this movie doesn't really establish her road to redemption all that greatly, but it's got the rough fundamentals for something to be built from this, if they decide to continue, which they won't, because this is an abject failure. But I've seen bad pilots before, and bad pilots become decent series down the road. This just needs a whole lot of retooling if they ever decide to revisit it. I think the best parts about this to me are Michelle herself, and Sam Richardson. I'm a big fan of his since Detroiters. I think that's a great show, and he's always funny in everything he shows up in. I enjoyed him a lot in Ted Lasso as well. But Sam Richardson's character as Quasi, I thought was cool. I also appreciated the Fuzz and later on Wisp. The actor that plays them both did a pretty cool job of depicting that character as well. And that character's race is also an interesting race to be introduced in the Star Trek universe. I was surprised to see Jamie Lee Curtis at the end of this as Control, but I didn't realize that her and Michelle Yeoh worked together in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it might have been a favor to ask her to show up at the end of this. So it's a weird movie, man. I don't think it's a must to watch if you're a big Star Trek fan, but it has some interesting moments in it that I think could be mined for something else later on down the road. I don't expect to ever see a series of this or any kind of Section 31 following this movie, but they might try to do something like this again, but hopefully better executed. So those are my overall thoughts. I'll toss it back to you guys. All right.
Chris?
I was waiting for Neo.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna. Yeah, no, I'll go. I think the best part of it was the ending. Was the ending credits.
As in that it ended?
Yeah, because I mean, I'll be honest. Silver was really reaching and trying to find the silver line. Yeah. There's nothing really good about this. Even the fight scenes seem so lackadaisical and just. I mean, I know she's older now, but it just didn't. It just there was nothing there. I get it. The opening shot was pretty good, but you knew what was coming. But yeah, no chemistry with the team. Yeah, Quasi, I know that guy from Veep.
Oh yeah,
Every time I heard his voice, I thought he was that weird guy from Veep. I
Yes.
was like, oh my gosh, he can't do that. But I mean, yeah, it's the typical like. I mean, it's basically the Thunderbolts of and Suicide Squad of Star Trek. It didn't really work. It's the same lazy. Oh, this is the the weapon that's going to destroy everything. We're the only ones that can do it. Oh, you're the only one that can do this, Giorgio, because you're the one that created it. The villains were the everything like the double crosses, this and that. I mean, even Homeboy that when they think the dude in the mech suit is dead and then he gets back up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is coming. Like everything was completely predictable. It was just very lazy. And how much exposition and how much of just sitting in a circle with them talking. There's like 3 or 4 different points where they're just all sitting there talking, and I get it. They're trying to do like this witty banter and trying to figure out, but it didn't work. It was just, I mean, it was pretty sad. I mean, we were joking during the news about tax incentives. This movie should have been a tax incentive. This is the movie that shouldn't have. This should have been written off as a tax loss, locked in a vault. Like this is because it's not good. It tarnishes the brand. It really puts the skids on kind of the good, role that Star Trek's been going on with, Discovery, then Lower Decks,
Stranger Worlds,
and Stranger Worlds, and then Prodigy and stuff like this. They've kind of, I mean, the beginning of it before they go into the club, it's so ridiculous. I felt like it was like a low rent, like Call of Duty game. This is the job. This is there. It's just like, oh my god, like, does anybody have an original thought anymore? And I get it. Every story's been told, but it wasn't good. And I'm just not going to pretend to say like it was. I didn't really see anything redeeming of it. Like I said, even the fight scenes were just like blah. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, I Star Trek put the mirror universe on pause. Like, don't make it the Borg. Don't do what Voyager did to the Borg. Like, it's a cool concept and it's had some cool stuff, and some of the stuff that they had in Discovery and it was really cool. I get it, but let's just let it lay. Like, it's okay. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't recommend it. I mean, the good thing, I guess, the really good thing of it, it's only an hour and a half, so it's not like you have to deal with it like for two and a half hours, like some of these other horrible things we have to watch sometimes. But yeah, it's not good. So, Chris.
Yahtzee says in the chat, this sounds about as bad as any of the next gen movies outside of First Contact. No, dude, that's an insult to the next gen movies.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I would watch Nemesis.
I will take
all day.
any of those.
Yeah,
Nemesis.
Nemesis, baby.
Over this movie.
This
quote
movie,
the critic.
Go ahead. Sorry.
To quote the critic, it stinks.
This movie makes Nemesis look like an Oscar-worthy movie.
Damn.
Like it's that bad. So, bro, I'm not gonna attack you on this. But
I'm not gonna fight you.
You were looking for the silver lining, and I get you on that. But it's like you were reaching, because this is a really bad movie.
Really,
like it's
reaching
really
beyond
bad.
How far Mr. Fantastic could reach by stretching his arms.
Yeah, and I mean, I like Michelle Yeoh, and I like a lot of the actors in this, but it's just not good. And I mean, it's bad. It's really bad. And I think, yeah.
You ever watch a movie where at the end you're like, man, that wasn't very good, but then sometimes watch a movie that it's apparent from the start how bad it is,
Yeah.
and you're just like, man, this movie sucks, and it just keeps going and going and going and getting worse.
Watching the
This
clock.
is one of those movies.
Mhm.
if I
Into
didn't have to watch
Dumbness
it
is
for
also
this.
one of those movies
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, God,
where
yeah.
it makes me just mad while I'm in the middle of watching it because it's so bad.
Jesus. You're
Actually,
right.
I didn't have as much anger with this as I did with Into Dumbness. Into
Oh.
Dumbness is just, it's a whole different level of just anger and hate that it
It's a
elicits.
different because these are all nobody characters that you don't care about. It's
Yeah.
not, the TOS crew on the Enterprise. So like I still think Into Darkness is a worse movie
Mhm.
overall,
Mm.
but not by much.
No. Yeah.
The many things wrong with this movie. The direction, very disappointing given that Osun Sanmi directed a lot of episodes of Discovery and
Yeah.
did a pretty good job there. There's a gimmick of the fight scenes where like the camera flips upside down and it's just
Oh, that was
really
annoying.
annoying.
Yeah.
Waste of Michelle Yeoh's talents because
She first off that
there's
Oscar.
really no arc for Giorgio in this movie, and this character San is just completely one-dimensional. And again, no explanation for how the fuck he's alive in the early 24th century, hop over to the Prime Universe. Like, what was this guy do? What's the story? It's
Yeah,
not explained.
Because they don't time travel when they go to the other universe. It's just you go to the other universe in the same time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
they never
was
went
like?
back in time.
What's he doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
The cast of Section 31 characters is wholly uninteresting. The Delton was kind of a fun character, but then they immediately killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buzz is just a deranged weirdo. I do like the concept of a microscopic alien controlling a robot. I think that's a really neat Star Trek concept,
Yep.
and they could have done more with that and didn't.
Felt like Men in
Mech
Black.
guy is just a stupid meathead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you got this guy Alok who tells us the sad story of being an augment, and it's like, hey, how about actually like showing us a flashback of him fighting in the
Right?
eugenics wars rather than just telling us all this exposition? Oh, but then that would have required a budget, so that's why they didn't do it. I don't know why this involves Section 31 at all, and why there are a bunch of like Suicide Squad type weirdos when we've seen Section 31 before and after this be just a bunch of like creepy professionals.
Yeah.
So I don't get why they're a bunch of like incompetent buffoons now.
Yeah, but wasn't the thing about the guy Alok that's the augment, like he was augmented after the fact, like, right? Because that's what he. I'd never heard that because all the augments were
Born.
They were all done they were augmented as babies or as embryos, but he was done after that was a weird one. I was like, that's kind of a stretch, huh? Like, that really turned me off when I heard that. So I don't know. I'd never heard that before, that they actually did that to people. So.
That's the first I heard it too. That they did someone post being born naturally. I always assumed and recall that augments were genetically modified in utero. So I that's my assumption that's how it was. Matter of fact, it's implied in Strange New Worlds. So I don't know. This was news to me as well.
Then again, Rachel Garrett could have literally been any other name. It could have been Mary Smith, and it wouldn't have mattered at all for the story.
Yes.
No connection to what we know about Rachel Garrett in the future. In fact, the only purpose of having Rachel Garrett in this movie is to tell you like the rough time frame of when it exists.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, this movie is like the visual design is so generic and so un-Star Trek that it feels like it could take place at almost any time. Like there's nothing that identifies a particular era that this is set in other than just Rachel Garrett being young.
Yeah.
Presumably like, 20 years before the time frame of yesterday's Enterprise. But it's just such an incredibly generic story. It's not fun. It's got a lot of bad CG, especially the like the minecart chase.
Yeah.
Like, the CG just looks awful in that scene. It's it's just an ill-conceived movie from start to finish, and I know it went through development hell for years, but this story was not the one to do if you had to tell a story about Giorgio. It's just a failure on every level, and yet still I would rank it higher, right above Into Dumbness and Final Frontier.
Damn.
Just because, again, these are all characters I don't care about,
Right.
aside from Giorgio, and the stakes are just incredibly low because MacGuffin's gonna fuck everything. Oh, okay. Well, obviously we know that's not gonna happen because the entire history of Star Trek after this movie guarantees that nothing was gonna happen. So
Yeah, when Rachel Garrett was
I
in
feel
the
like
ship
if
and
they
they're
were
worried about it getting blown up, I was like, she's not gonna die. Like,
I'm gonna die, so they could have gone to some other era, or better yet, just not have done this movie at all. Like, she can
I
sit at
actually
home
would have
polishing
said
her Oscar.
I actually wouldn't have mind an hour and a half of young Giorgio doing the Hunger Games. Like that might have been even more interesting than this.
Wouldn't have been
But
worse.
no, it definitely would not have been worse. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's a shame. the historical thing of the first Star Trek streaming movie, which probably will be the last one for at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Like I said,
I have nothing more to say about.
like I
I
said,
have nothing
why
more to
would
say
you do a
about this
text
one.
log?
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't either. I guess ratings.
Damn. That's
Yeah,
rough.
let's do ratings.
Sobra.
Well,
I'll give it right down the middle. 2.5 microscopic aliens out of 5.
All right, I guess me.
Mm-hmm.
I give it 0 competent accountants out of 5.
Woo!
It's a bad movie.
God, I see.
Like the fact that you give it 2.5.
Yeah.
That insults the other things that we've given 2.5. Like there's been some really bad things.
Yeah.
Like that we've given 2.5 or even a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Solver,
I'm too generous today. I feel
you're
way
you're
too
a big
generous.
old softie.
Yeah, I am.
they in sports betting they'd call you a homer because this is you're going with your heart, not with the facts.
Oh, you got me. Good shit. What'd you have to say, Chris? What's your rating?
I'm gonna give this unblasted Deltons out of 5.
Oh wow! So I gave it a 0. Is this the first 0 that we've ever given?
I think we've given one before. Probably. No, we've given 0s before, but it has been a while.
Oh yeah, we did do Anime Toilet for a while. That's right. I forgot about
Anime
that.
Toilet has a completely different rating system, though. That's minus.
That's true. Yeah, it went the other direction.
5 toilet
Sorry
movie,
about
man.
that.
Nothing will be a 5 toilet movie like what's it called?
Garzi's Wing.
Not Garzi's Wing, but
Wings of Rian.
Nah, the classic though. MD Geist, Death Force. MD Geist 2, Death Force.
Geist, Death Force.
Hell yeah,
Yes.
man. The Golden Colon Award.
Well, I apologize, Chris, because you're going to get blamed for this, because this will probably go on the internet. Like, can't believe Chris gave a Sex 31 movie 0. Because didn't this happen with Prince of Darkness? You got blamed for that.
Literally nobody is going to say that because I've not heard about anybody raving about this movie. And I will say as a closing comment,
It's bad, man.
this project that all of the new Trek series, I've watched them all.
Yep.
And they've had their ups and downs, but I've liked them enough. I have bought the Blu-rays of every other new Trek production that has come out. So I have all of Discovery, I have all of Picard, I got Lower Decks, I got Prodigy, I got Strange New Worlds, I have it all. Section 31 will not be gracing the collection. In fact, like, having seen this movie the once, I have no desire to ever watch this movie again for the rest of my life.
Someone's gonna
Well, let me
gift
ask.
you for Christmas.
Yeah, let me ask you this thing, Chris. What if you buy something like, let's say, the new season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and this is like the bonus disc in the pack? Like, would you watch it then, or what would it cause you pause to buy that season? Like, maybe there's a version where I don't have to have this. Like, that's the incentive. Yeah, they do like this.
I mean, I know
initial
they're
special
already going to sell
packs.
this separately, so
Yeah. Sorry.
I'd throw it in the trash. No, I would not watch this movie again. There's just literally no reason to. It has
None.
no redeeming values. It has nothing that makes me want to come back to it. If I want to see more JoJo, let's go watch Discovery.
Discovery, yeah. Yep. So
There you go.
all right.
Time well spent.
So, yeah. So bro, you want to give us a quick summary of just the overall summary of season 5?
Man,
I mean, you just because we can go in the episodes. I mean,
yeah. Well, let's just give an overview. This, of course, unfortunately, is the final.
it is your
season.
show. That's why I'm giving it. That's why I'm saying.
Good stuff.
This
I'd
is
have wrote something quick. This is the final season, of course, of Star Trek Lower Decks. A series that I wholly love. Might be my favorite Star Trek series to come out in a long time. Of course, it focuses on the crew of the Cerritos as they enter in their 5th year, and they are in the midst of investigating anomalies where rifts are being opened in space to other dimensions, and they're having to seal them from some mysterious source. Of course, they have several episodes in this season that kind of help to bring things full circle for the season, rounding out stories that were open threads from previous episodes, including a very fun episode where they go to the Klingon homeworld to help MAHQ with the situation going on with him facing off with a relative of the captain that he slain back in Wage Douche in season 2, and has to type some loose ends there. There is also we also have the arc with Tendi that was open from the last season, where she left the ship, where she is a Orion pirate again, and she's working alongside her sister, having to pay off a debt to her before she can return to Starfleet. So we get to see that unfold. And other fun stuff that happens this season. Of course, the arc with the opening rifts comes to a head in the final 2 episodes with a fantastic episode dealing with a supergroup of characters. Not only do we have the return of William Boimler, who is captaining a Defiant type ship, but also an alternate version of Mariner. You have also a incredible crew of T'Pol from was it Star Trek? I don't want to say Star Trek Enterprise. And then Curzon Dax, a version of Dax that never had the chance to pass it on to Jadzia. You have a slew of Harry Kims, including one that has two pips, a lieutenant. You have Dr. Garrick, who is awesome to see, as well as a holographic Bashir. And lo and behold, Lily from First Contact shows up with her own crew as the source of the rifts that have been opening all over the universe, and they all have to team up to solve that crisis, only for it to escalate. And William Boimler, the captain of that ship, has to pass along the crisis to the world where he comes from, the universe he comes from, and sends his counterpart there. Of course, Brad Boimler, the news that the rift is in their universe now, and his ship will have to fix it before it destroys their universe. And that whole scenario plays out, and it's a lot of fun. But that is just a rough description of the season. I will go ahead and turn it over to Neo to give his opinions on this season. So, Neo, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would say, yeah, I mean, I think overall, it was a great season for knowing that they were ending. I think it it seemed to me that this was the type of season where they just basically are like, okay, all the things, because they didn't. This was kind of expected, right? The cancellation of the series, like they kind of knew, but then it was still kind of a surprise. There was talk that it was going to be potentially, there might have been another season, right? Like it seemed like it was kind of
Mike
like a
McMahon
shock. Yeah,
was just hedging his bets and having something that could serve as a wrap up if needed, but also leave the door open for more if it wasn't in fact the end.
yeah. But I kind of felt as I watched this season, like all the ideas that they had on the board for like even stuff they were going to do in maybe future seasons if those came, they kind of did it. Because I will say this, it seemed like pretty much every episode was pretty strong.
Yeah.
I know I've been critical about this show because I think in prior seasons it is a little up and down. You'll have some really good episodes, and then you have a couple that are just kind of like, not that great. But I felt this one was really good. I definitely liked the Starbase 81.
Yeah.
I thought that one was pretty funny because it's got the zombie thing to it. It feels like it has a little bit of this is the one that had the kind of the homages to Wrath of Khan in there too, right? And the fact that it really played on the whole like ultimate concept of what Lower Decks was like, not only were you following people from like the lower decks, but there are ships that are a part of Starfleet that aren't they're not the Enterprise, like they're not the Pride and Joy, like they're the ones that are kind of forgotten. And the fact that like they completely forgot about this starbase was just, I mean, and it's just like it's almost like the starbase of Misfit Toys. Like that's absolutely exactly what it was. It was just like, even their uniforms are crazy. So that was a good one. I think like you said, the one the one with all the Harry Kims. That one made me too. That one is a really good one because that is the one that had the deep. This show is like deep and just like references to prior shows. And sometimes they were hit or miss, but I'd have to say in this episode, they were pretty much a hit the whole time. I just love, I love the introduction when he's just like, and you got Dr. Garrett and the hologram of Julian Bashir. And they're just like, and you're like, oh yeah, there was a lot of gay tension between the characters in Deep Space Nine. You're like, yeah, no, it kind of makes sense. And I'm sure there's a whole world on the internet that just explores alternate storytelling of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Along with the Kirk and Spock stuff.
Slash fiction.
Yeah. One of the better ones that I really enjoyed was the Upper Decks episode.
Yes.
Like the whole thing is just the Lower Decks, and it's like then you see what the actual what the officers have to go through, and they're going through their own set of stupid crazy things that the Lower Decks people were going, and sometimes even some weird things that are on the verge of destroying the ship, and it's like that. This is the one where Ransom really comes out, and like he's really good in this one, and I just definitely laughed on that. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of like, yeah, right. Spoiler alert: the last episode, it's called, I think it's called like the new Next Generation or something like that.
Absolutely.
And Captain Freeman goes to Starbase 80, and Ransom gets promoted, and then he's going to do the whole thing with Mariner and Boimler as co-first officers. So it kind of leaves it open that that there would be if there ever is like a movie or additional series or additional season or something like that, it does kind of go there. But then again, I'm just kind of like, you know what? They ended it on a good way, and I think that sometimes is the hardest thing to do for shows, is to end well, and end where it's kind of satisfying. Like I don't feel like the show got a raw deal all the way it ended. Like, the writers and the people in charge of it, they crafted a good ending to the show, and I think that was definitely a positive, and I think it helps the show in a lot of ways. So, but back to you, Chris.
I would say overall, this is a very strong season. A lot of great episodes, especially from the season premiere, Dos Cerritos, that sets up a lot of arcs. Like, Marin, they end up an alternate Cerritos where Freeman, aka Becky Freeman, is the captain and is a very different character and not so
I
nice.
forgot about that. Yeah.
And Boimler's alternate is this like awesome dude, and Prime Boimler ends up with a pad of his, and he basically like spends the whole season trying to like model his life after this other Boimler. All of these like amusing fissures and crossovers of random elements, like tiny Intrepid class starship that is like very small, and it's like they're okay, that's how things are in that universe. The episode with Purple Data from the Purple Enterprise.
Yes.
And the fact that they got Brent Spiner, which is like absolutely huge for this show, and he was hilarious. He's just a disembodied head sitting there dealing with Tendi and Talin's science feud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really good episode, especially for one of those ones where it's the weirdness on the planet and stuff like that, because they've done ones like that before, but I think this one was probably the best that they've done. So
yeah, I gotta say, Purple Enterprise not too bad looking.
No,
so,
it is the D
as far as aesthetics go.
Yeah, the D, man. And,
Purple D.
My favorite part.
Drink.
My favorite part was when Mariner got the whole Data's head. It's like, I've always wanted to do this. It's like, you're warmer than I thought you'd be. That shit was great. I love that episode.
Obviously, lots of deep cuts as usual. I was not expecting a cut so deep, having a character descended from the Greek gods from the original series.
Oh yeah, that came crazy. Yeah. I actually had to look that up.
That this character Ali actually played a role in things later on and helped out. So
absolutely
not expecting that. All of the Harry Kims were hilarious, especially the fact that these losers were all ensigns even after all this time. Yeah.
Except for the one that had 2 pips. It was the full loser.
Except for the one that had 2 pips. It's fun to hear Lily Sloan again. Also interesting that Mike McMahon somehow convinced Jolene Blaylock to come back and do T'Pol, which Enterprise is a sore spot for her, and she gave up acting long ago and just was being a mom and doing that stuff. So I guess his pitch really made an impact on a chance to bring back T'Pol. Obviously not the same version, but a chance to actually play a version of the character that's not a hologram as your last performance. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that appealed to her, because she's made it very clear that she hates These Are the Voyages, as does pretty much every other series regular from Enterprise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was good. The Nebula, where they're flying around dodging the Klingons, and just like all of the ship swaps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of the Cerritos turning into different classes of ships, like Sovereign and I think Oberth, and just all this fun stuff.
Galaxy.
I feel bad for those Klingons who their bird of prey turned into like a freaking Viking warship, and then they're just floating in space dead.
Right. I love the talk of like, we only got one to sell. We can't go to war with one to sell. They're like, oh no, we can.
Tendi was trying to break it down.
Yeah.
Starbase 80 being so,
Oh my God.
forgotten that they're literally wearing United Earth Starfleet uniforms because that's how far backwards they are. Then somehow Starbase 80 also ultimately being the solution to all the problems, which is not what I was expecting at the beginning of the season.
No.
So, good job on McMahon for setting up a proper Chekhov's gun with that.
Yep.
Yeah, without doubt.
And the new status quo at the end. Freeman gets promoted and gets to spend some time with her husband. Ransom gets promoted and wants to mentor Boimler and Mariner and have them compete for first officer. We see everyone has shown some growth. Tendi and T'Lyn have become science sisters. Mariner has stopped being bratty and self-sabotaging, and Boimler just, learns to finally just chill out. So Rutherford, embraces having implants. So everybody shows some growth in this season, and in some cases it's a lot more growth than characters got on TNG or Voyager. So
Right?
even though Lower Decks was 5 seasons, it really, in terms of math, averages out to only 50 episodes.
Yeah.
But in those 50 episodes, all of these people go on a journey, in some cases greater than characters who had triple the number of episodes to be in the older shows.
Yeah, because in this season, aren't
Like,
they? They're all promoted, right? They're not ensigns anymore
Hell,
at
yeah.
this point,
yeah,
right?
they're all Lieutenant JGs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How they were promoted last season. Yeah, it's which is one of the things I wanted to say is I'm glad the series didn't wait till the last episode to promote them. You got to see them slide into the groove of being a higher rank, and then adjusting to that and getting their own rooms and stuff like that. I thought that was a nice thing to see this season, is that they were in positions where they had to mentor other people, and I think that's one of the strengths of the show in general, is just the advancement of every character, finding out what makes them tick, learning their backgrounds. Seeing Tendi go back home and being a pirate for the Orions was interesting to see, and how she dealt with that versus how they normally do, where they kill their they kill their opponents. She's trying to say, well, how we could spread more fear if we leave them all alive. And then having to deal with the blue Orions, or Orions, as they say, was a cute nod to the animated series as well.
Them.
Yeah, that was great. And then
those dorky jumpsuits.
Yeah. Before I go on though, Chris, anything else you wanted to say with your thoughts at all?
I will say it's interesting, with where the show ends. It ends right before Prodigy starts, and also before some of the bad things from the
first season of Picard.
Backstory of Picard, like the destruction of Utopia Planitia and all the bad stuff that happened. So it's interesting that Lower Decks, with its lighter tones, stops exactly where it does. I wonder if they ever did continue it in some other form, maybe with a different name, because you can't really call it Lower Decks anymore.
No.
If they're going to skip past this and show everyone when they're a bit older and more ranked up.
I would love to see it. I'm not getting my hopes up for a continuation, but as you mentioned, they left it off on such an open note that they could probably do an animated movie or continue these characters in some other
That's what I'm
form
thinking
down the road. I think that's the best we can probably hope for, is an animated movie. I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility. Something, if we get any kind of direct stream movie, it'd be that or another Prodigy edition.
Let this be the direct streaming movies,
please.
not Section 31.
I'm with you on that. I would love.
Can we erase this? Can we swap it?
Can we erase 31? Yeah, I'm all for it if we get more Lower Decks. But I do love how this season ended. At first I wanted a dramatic series finale like All Good Things. I knew we weren't going to get it because this creative team didn't have enough time finding out that the show got canceled and to craft something as amazing as that. But they did give us a uplifting final episode for this run of the series, and I appreciate what they did, especially with the establishment of a multiversal portal that they established, with Starbase 80 being kind of the welcome center for people coming in and out that place. I thought was such a nice touch. And they of course foreshadowed Captain Freeman going to Starbase 80 at the beginning of this season, although I'm sure it was under worse circumstances in that universe versus this one. But just to see that she progressed to become a person who would run a facility like that, and is already aware of all the pitfalls in that place because she had to work to fix several issues when she was at Starbase 80 back in episode 5 of the season. So it was a nice introduction for her to kind of become more acclimated to how things run there, and for her to take that job. It was still sad to see her no longer be the captain of the Cerritos, but also to see my man Jack finally become captain of it and saying engage the core. I thought it was awesome.
But I think with why would you want a dramatic episode like ending episode like the Next Generation one? I mean, I think this was like the episode that you would do for Lower Decks. Like, I thought it was fitting because I think if they did something like that, it'd be out of character for. Then it'd be like that kind of like, ooh, like the needle drops on the skips on the record player, because it's like it was the episode. And I mean, it was kind of the tone of what the show was. Like, I thought it was. I think it was the best way they could do it. Like,
but they've had heartfelt episodes before, and there's a nod at least.
But that's not the show, though. Like, I get what you're saying, but the show is.
When it comes to final episodes, when it comes to final episodes, you sometimes want him to leave the mic smoking, to drop the mic. And in this case, they did in a lot of different ways. There's a nod to All Good Things in this, and that's them dealing with rifts, because All Good Things had its own rift issue as well that messed with time and whatnot. And this was more a spatial rift than if anything else. So there are nods there to All Good Things here. But ultimately, I like the ending that we got, and I like the hopefulness that we get from it, that their story is continuing. They're going to still be out there traveling the universe and making new discoveries, or following up on old discoveries. And also there's, of course, a change of power structure on the Cerritos now, too. I wonder how they're going to deal with the upcoming issues that are going to be happening, like the Palencia Yard situation, or the evacuation from Romulus and Remus. So that's going to be that's interesting territory that I don't know we'll get to see, but I would love to see it. Although, again, it's out of character for Lower Decks to deal with high-scale issues like that. But overall, I thought this was a solid season. It's not my favorite season. If I was to say what my favorite episodes were this season, I love Fully Dilated, the episode with Data where they go to a planet that has time dilation, and these idiots spill fucking these cocktails all over the dash of the transporter controls, and have to clean it. So the ladies are stuck there for a lot longer than they expected. But I just love all the gags in that episode. I thought it worked out well. And it was nice to see Tendi get a lot of focus and a lot of back and forth with Data. I thought that was super cute, and just a nice focus piece on her and to Lynn. Also, Upper Decks, as you mentioned, that's a great episode. They did the opposite of what Next Gen did when Next Gen established Lower Decks. And it was an episode towards the end of the series run. They did the opposite for this show, where they did an episode focused on the Upper Decks at the end of this series run. So I thought it was poetry in that particular situation there. Also, I like the fact that they revisited the unfinished thread of Mariner and Jen's relationship. They got a lot of flack for them just kind of like deading that without any kind of closure. So when they revisited it in episode 3, I thought it was a nice thing for them to bring that up again and finally bring that to a head, because that relationship deserved closure, especially for a lot of people who identify with that relationship. They didn't get that closure, so I'm glad they paid respect to that. Farewell to Farms is the Klingon homeworld episode with MAHQ and his brother, and to introduce those two jokers, or introduce his brother, I thought was really funny. His brother's a bit of a savant in some ways, so it was nice to be introduced to him. And
Klingon rednecks. Who thought?
Who thought? And
Yeah, I know.
I love Titmouse, the animation company behind the show, because they really know how to animate fights. And the fight with MAHQ and his former captain in season 2 was amazing, and they doubled down on this one with his fight against that guy's brother. I thought it was so well directed and animated, and they just know how to do that stuff. So the fights in Lower Decks have been great. Some of the best fights, I think, in just Star Trek history, period. And when you got MAHQ in episode and he's fighting, it's always a joy to see. So anytime someone has Bathlet in their hand, it's the shit. So I thought that was awesome. One of the other things, before I wrap it up, that I liked the addition of Allie, as you guys mentioned her too, the half demigod, or the demigod, I guess. That's part of the crew now. The new Mariner, I guess. There's a particular moment in the final episode where she does a Kamehameha. I thought I fell out when I saw that.
Oh, I know. I forgot about that. That was hilarious. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, she's charging up. Yo, she's about to hit them with some plasma. I see you. That was great. But her character's a nice addition. It was cool to see Meredith get a little bit of spotlight in the Upper Decks episode, working with Billups in engineering. She's been throughout the series and has spoken a few times. So to see her working with Billups to fix all those engineering problems was fun. And my last thing I'll say is Nurse Westlake finally got to speak. Nurse Westlake has been in the show since the first episode, has not uttered one word. And then in Upper Decks, when working with Dr. Tana, he was an active character throughout the entire episode, speaking. And he was such a colorful character. It's a shame we never really got to see much of him throughout the course of the show. But for him to finally get a spotlight was really cool. But I really enjoyed this season. It's bittersweet for me because I was not looking forward to seeing this show end, watching it week to week. After watching this entire series, I've got to say, if you've never watched Lower Decks, it is one of the most bingeable shows you could ever watch. Because running this back today, because I just decided to sit down and just watch it all again today. It was such a fun run. It goes really quickly. It's one of the quickest shows you can ever knock out. My hope for the show is that it gets to be aired on broadcast TV on, say, something like Adult Swim, because Adult Swim seems to be the portal where shows get brought back. It happened with Family Guy, it happened with Futurama, and there's another show I think it happened with too, where it just got enough attention that people bought the Blu-rays or the DVDs, and eventually interest picked up, and people wanted to see more. So I'm hoping that happens with this. Maybe Adult Swim will pick it up and air like 2 episodes a night, which is a
Broadcast
pretty quick
TV.
run.
What's that?
Yeah, I know, right? But that's the audience for that. And since this has not been broadcast, period, except on, you probably can see it on what's that streaming service? One of the free TV streaming services, Pluto. They have 2 Star Trek channels, and every so often they do show Lower Decks episodes on there, so you can catch it on there. But I don't know what the schedule is. But put it on Adult Swim and see exactly if people bite and like it and want more, and do it for a couple weeks and see what people say. It'd be nice.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that instead of just putting it on Showtime? Because that's what they've been doing for anything on Paramount Plus.
Hey, you know what?
That's
fine too. If they want to put it on there, they can put it on there too. I don't.
Yeah, because they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay any money.
True. I just think that Adult Swim is the perfect venue for that, and they constantly have new shows on there, and throwing an old show on there that can catch the eye of people who need to watch it. Especially when you have people who are fans of Rick and Morty, you can put this back to back with that, and then you might find a crossover with that. So I don't know. It's just an idea. I would love to see them try it and see if it helps to pick up some steam and interest for the show. But I'm sad to see it go. I'm excited for what might come after this. I heard that Mike McMahon, his other show, Solar Opposites, is also coming to an end. They're working on the final season, or it's about to air. So he's going to be out of 2 shows, and I don't know what he has cooking next, but I will definitely look forward to the news on what he has
working on Golden Axe animated series.
Is he really? Oh, wow, good shit. Yo, Golden Axe?
As in Sega's Golden Axe.
Yo,
yeah.
That's wild.
Like it's like a goofy show.
Yeah. That's cool. I played a lot of Golden Axe back in the day, so I will be checking that out. And I already planned to run back Solar Opposites. A lot of the cast from Lower Decks, they show up in random episodes. Well, the voice acting cast anyway. They showed up in random episodes. I just saw an interview with Jack Quaid, and he said he did some voices for Solar Opposites. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. And this new Golden Axe show that Mike McMahon's working on. Good shit, man. Mike McMahon's one of my favorite creators, so I'm happy to help support him and what he has going on next. And this season was a lot of fun. But that's all I have to say. Any other thoughts before we wrap this up and give our ratings?
I will say, just as a note, because the show has also been part of the whole journey of modern Star Trek, that the end of Lower Decks also marked the end of Will Wheaton's The Ready Room.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
They canceled that too.
Such a shame.
Just to save a buck here and there.
Damn. We got another season of Strange New Worlds coming out. That's so unfortunate. Man.
Another 2 seasons of Strange New Worlds.
That's right. Man.
So, unfortunately, Will Wheaton will not be around to do that. So, it was fun, obviously it's a promotional show, but like seeing his infectious enthusiasm for being part of Star Trek again, for being able to connect with people from, now the new generation, and when he used to be the new generation, and, just seeing that. I didn't watch the show every episode, but like it was enjoyable to watch when I did, and it's a shame that it just kind of was out on a whimper like that when there was like so much more that could have been done in terms of him covering Strange New Worlds and talking to those people. So kind of sad to see that go too, and that didn't get any attention with Lower Decks going away.
Boy, they just don't. They still think it's 1995, don't they, Paramount? Like, they don't realize like you need that stuff to keep the interest in your shows and your offerings.
How much does it cost to have him on this like virtual set with like a green screen?
Yeah, right.
Like, is there so much by not having Will Wheaton do this show?
Because I'm going to tell you this much: when Strange New Worlds is going to come out, probably the week or two, couple weeks beforehand, I could probably go down to downtown LA or go by. There's a high rise on the 405 past LAX where they always do all these things for the shows, and they'll probably put it on the side of that thing, and it's probably cost millions of dollars to do that. And yeah, you're right. Why would you? I mean, that's just a waste, because who cares about that? Nobody cares. You're sitting in traffic or going by it at 70 miles an hour. You don't care about that, but they just, it's like they just can't get out of their way. It's like, they keep complaining that they're not making a difference in anything. And it's like, you have something that's going to help you, and then you're like, well, we don't understand it, or it's not making us, tens of millions of dollars, so we're just going to get rid of it, not realizing that stuff just has to sometimes take a while.
Yeah. And
when it hits, it hits. So yeah, I'm still waiting for the day that Paramount just collapses, because it seems like it's the one that's going to collapse. But that's a whole other situation. That's a whole other discussion. So
yeah, I always appreciated that show, and I watched what they did for Lower Decks before they wrapped it up too. Man, shout out to Will Wheaton. It was good to see him in the second season of Prodigy as well. See that character revisited too. But yeah, it's a shame it's going, especially in light of more Star Trek to come out. So, damn.
But what do you think, though? I mean, what does this do? Okay, so you say that there's more Star Trek coming out, but that's just Strange New Worlds, right?
Yeah,
so
it is, but
that's it.
It's the most popular
Academy.
show. Oh yeah, Starfleet Academy. That's right.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's on the verge of coming out too. Yeah, totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So what do you think, though, Chris? I mean, is this? I mean, are they in danger of going back into? I mean, once you get to a point with Strange New Worlds and, Star Trek Academy, if Star Trek Academy doesn't hit, like, is there a possibility that we go back to where there's really no Star Trek on there? Because doing stuff like that makes me go, maybe they're, just looking at the bottom line here and
right now the biggest draw of Paramount Plus is all the Taylor Sheridan shows. It's not Star Trek, sadly. Although Strange New Worlds is probably the highest rated Star Trek series they've had on there, and hopefully it'll continue to be. But
Why not
yeah.
do a Taylor Sheridan Star Trek show?
Oh shit!
How about no? Because that'll just have more Republicans watching Star Trek and being stupid about it.
Yeah, fair point.
Oh, they not understand it.
Yeah, fair point.
They wouldn't understand.
They wouldn't. Not at all.
I don't understand this Federation. What is this prime directive of not interfering with alien cultures and
Why didn't they
resources? They just blast them and take all the gold.
Yeah, colonize.
I was checking out some of these other Star Treks, and I was watching this Discovery, and at first it was pretty bad, but then they had this really cool thing where the Federation was like all about Federation first and just doing whatever. It was awesome. Yeah. They were killing people. Like that'd be their favorite part. They'd be wanting, well, why don't we get a Terran Empire one?
I like that guy Lorca. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, guy's a great guy, not Giorgio. I mean, I don't normally don't like a woman or an Asian, but man, she really doesn't take any shit. It's Empire first, so but
yeah, no, we don't want that. We don't need that.
Okay.
We need that as much as we need the Tarantino Star Trek. But to answer your question, I think we are in.
I always thought that was a joke. That was a joke, right?
Yes.
Or was that serious?
No.
Look, you never know.
You never know.
You never know what Paramount might be thinking. I think we are in for some lean years ahead with Star Trek. The free ride. The golden age of streaming, if ever there was such a thing, it's coming to a close.
Having 4 shows running at once.
Things are having 5 shows simultaneously. We're not going to see that again.
Man, and we knew it at the time too. We knew it at the time.
We were eating good, and now that meal is over.
That is done.
So, Starfleet Academy, they like it enough that they gave it a 2-season order before it even started airing. Nice. So we're going to at least get 2 seasons of that.
Yeah.
We know they're already working on season 4. They're already filming season 4 of Strange New Worlds.
Yep.
So it would not surprise me if that show gets at least a 5th season. I think we're heading for an era of just maybe 1 or 2 Star Trek shows on at the same time, and that's it. And obviously not at the same time simultaneously, like spread out across the year. Yeah. And given the reception to Section 31, I don't know what the actual streaming figures was because Paramount doesn't really release that stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe they consider it enough of a success to do another streaming movie, hopefully not Section 31. So, the future's not clear. And of course, Paramount has been failing for many years to try to get another theatrical movie off the ground. And they've been talking back and forth about getting, the Kelvin cast back together for one last hurrah. But, at this point,
who cares?
They're so much older now and,
a
lot more famous.
Higher
and,
demand.
The gap from the first Kelvin movie to just now, as in today.
Right.
Not whenever a potential 4th movie come out, is already longer than the entire time span of making the 6 original series movies.
Oh shit! Wow.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yes. The original series movies came out across a time span of 12 years, and it's now been 16 years since the first Kelvin movie came out, and I'm just using now as our time marker. We don't have even like a date for a 4th Kelvin movie, if such a thing even is going to happen. So like if it did happen, then the actual lag would be even greater than what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, they'd have to write that in. I mean, they can't. Yeah, and
they're not young anymore.
Yeah.
So what about the original series movie, the Star Trek the Motion Picture? That was what, 1980 or something?
1979.
1979. And then when did this show go off the air? 1968 or something?
69.
Oh, 69. Yeah, sorry. 66 when it started.
So 10 years. Mm-hmm. So there was a 10. Wow. Huh. Yeah, that gap's even bigger. Like it's an even bigger gap. So
I was referring to the the time
No,
of
I know.
making the
I'm
6
just
movies.
yeah, but I know
Yes, that's
that
still a
I
bigger
know
gap
what you're
even than that.
saying. Yeah, because that was, I mean, in that one, it's like the ship's different under a different captain. Kirk's like an admiral at you know operations, and wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I, just leave that. Let that one lie. I think. I mean,
Just
I
leave it
don't know.
alone. They
Yeah,
had their 3 movies. Beyond is not perfect, but it actually is
it
a great
saved it.
movie on its own, and the more you watch it, the more you appreciate it. And just leave it at that. And honestly, like given as I've said this before, like given the mixed bag that Star Trek movies have been, I'm fine if there's never any more.
Right.
Star Trek
Yeah.
just works better for the most part on TV anyway. Every once in a while, you have an exception. You got your Wrath of Khans and your
First
Voyages Home
contact.
and your Undiscovered Country or your First Contact. But for every one of those, there's a Final Frontier or an Into Dumbness or a Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So
Section 31.
yeah, let's just stick to long form TV, and even if we're down to just one Star Trek series at a time,
That's okay.
um, it's okay as long as it's just well written,
Yep.
and well made. Like that's fine. I don't need to have everything. We had this renaissance. I enjoyed it. For as flawed as some of the shows was, it was great to have all of this stuff on at a level that we have not seen since the 90s and actually going beyond that. And it's come to an end. That's fine too. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds has to end on him. Has to end on him at the ship, right? Like at the ship accident. Like
That would be a really downer ending. I feel
Yeah.
like they would end before that with maybe
you
him
think?
literally handing off the ship to Kirk. That seems like a slightly more hopeful ending.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, and I guess in some ways the way that Kirk's showing up in this, that's probably what they're going to do. Yeah, that's that has. Yeah, you're right. The handoff has got to be. That's got to be that's the bigger selling point. I think. Yeah.
Honestly,
That-
like you have almost the entire TOS cast rebuilt. Like you could continue Strange New Worlds into the
would.
actual TOS era,
Mhm.
just showing other adventures of the Enterprise that we didn't see during the original series. Or you could even do the 5th year of the 5-year mission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Count the animated series as the 4th year. Like you could still just keep doing Strange New Worlds with Paul Wesley and just build out the rest of the TOS cast and just keep going. Like why stop?
That would be cool if they did that. Aren't you an executive? That's actually a great pitch. I mean, it's like doing. How big would that be? Okay, so you do Strange New Worlds. You
You
do
already
the
have all the
handoff.
sets built.
Yeah, you have the
You
handoff.
already have the costumes. You already have Kirk,
Not a lot of
Spock,
pre-production.
Uhura, and Scotty already cast.
And
Like,
You
you
just need
only
Sulu, Chekhov,
Christine,
bonus.
McCoy.
and Christine as well. You already got her cast too.
You have
so.
Chapel, so like
Yeah.
you already have almost the entire cast.
And
Like
Mbenga, you can bring Mbenga back more because
Yeah.
Mbenga showed up in the original series too for like 1 or 2 episodes, so you can bring him back season 5 as well as more of a full working
But how
alongside
cool would
McCoy.
that
Yeah.
how cool would that be though if you did like and you just you okay, so you end it, you do that, you Strange New Worlds ends with the handoff. Okay, great. And then like a year later you do, you know, um, Star Trek. I don't know, TOS, whatever you want to name it. I don't know. Year
it could still
5.
be Strange New Worlds. Like
Or
doesn't
you just call it year 5. Like Strange New Worlds year 5. Like it
yeah, whatever.
yeah, something. Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be really
I
cool.
mean, that and I mean that would you would have it come full circle. Because that is that weird that weird lost time, right? And because I've always heard too, there's that weird what is it,
The
that the
Dark
lost
Era?
period?
Something like that.
Yeah, the lost period where it's like the end of the original series movies, and then Next Generation, like that's I guess Section 21 was supposed to I know, or Section 31,
Yeah.
whatever. But
Not that you
yeah,
notice.
Yeah,
They call
exactly.
it the Lost Era.
The Lost Era. Yeah.
Lost Era, yeah. So that would be a great way of kind of doing that, because you do, it's like, how did, because you could have off the board stuff about, Kirk, how he, even at the end he gets promoted, like, okay, I'm promoted because I did all these things. So yeah. Well, here's the hope.
Fingers crossed.
So Sobro's hope.
Indeed.
No, I'm not
Hope and
going to do
dreams.
that, because yeah.
Hope and dreams.
Hopes and
Hope and
dreams.
dreams.
Yes.
Hoping and dreaming and dreaming and hoping.
Man,
But
whole
I mean,
lot less
I think the bigger problem with that is the fact that just Paramount is just like this just giant beast that is just it's just teeters back, and they're still trying to sell it, right? Like every so often I hear that, like, they're just trying to unload it, and it's just
They're trying to sell themselves to Skydance, but Trump might block the merger because he's mad at CBS for the Kamala Harris interview, and
60 minutes.
For 60 minutes,
God.
and so he might try to block that. And in that case, who the hell knows?
Yeah,
It's 2025. Nothing matters. The law is irrelevant.
Right.
The king makes all of his commands, and that's just the way it is now.
Yeah.
Well,
and then I guess at that point it'll just be sold for parts. They'll just start selling the catalogs. But okay, cool. All right. Anything else?
No, I guess it's time for ratings.
All right.
All right, cool. Well, Neo, what is your rating of this season of the final season of Lower Decks season 5?
Well, this is a tough one because, like I said, I have a love-hate with, not a hate, but just a critique, love critical of this show. But I unlike Soulbro, I thought this was probably the best season.
Oh man!
It was the most entertaining, I think. I think they truly embraced what it was. I think just the way that they did the last episode, I think worked out really well. So I think I'm gonna give this give this 4 ransom styles of commanding out of 5, because what was it? He just falls asleep and let them figure it out themselves.
Oh, yeah, 4 ransom naps.
And then he gets called out at the end of that. It's like, yeah, I knew you did that. You knew what was going on the whole time. You just wanted to make sure that we were able to work together. So it's like, oh, okay.
That was really cool. Chris, what is your rating?
I'm gonna give this 4.5 Purple Enterprises out of 5.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm right with you, man. I usually give this the rating for Lower Decks every season, but if anything, I'm gonna do the same here. This is going to get 4.5 interdimensional rifts out of 5. I even though it's not my most favorite Lower Deck season, I enjoy all Lower Deck seasons 1 through 5. This is an incredible watch if you watch it straight on. I could put this on in the background and just enjoy the show all the time. So it's one of my favorite Star Treks, and I'm grateful for the gift of it. I want to see another animated series sometime in the future, and I hope Paramount will give us one. So we'll see.
Denied.
But but I'm gonna throw it back to Neo. Neo, it's all yours.
All right. Well, that was episode 310. Our Star Trek double feature here, or the double down, the Section 31 movie and the Lower Deck season 5. So, bro, you want to tell us where the people can communicate with us?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys never forget to make sure to visit MAHQ.net. That's the Mecha Anime headquarters. About to turn big 25 silver anniversary, man. Make sure to go pay them a visit, bookmark the site. You can also support MAHQ financially if you guys want to donate to help with offset costs. They have a new page up on Ko-Fi. You can find a interface with it right there on MAHQ.net. You can donate one time or donate monthly. And thank you very much for your support there. Also, you can find the podcast over on youtube.com/MAHQ.net. If you guys don't know, we just changed the URL. You can also find us over on Blue Sky under MAHQ.net, and of course Gundam. I want to say it's just Gundam on there. But if anything, you can also search Gundam at MAHQ on Blue Sky to find us as well. Other than that, that's all I'll say for now. Thank you guys for watching the show live and running back the reruns for this too. You can also watch it over on Fighters Ready on Twitch as well. We stream simultaneously on YouTube and Twitch. Shout out to everybody who's watching us live tonight. Other than that, I'll turn it back over to you guys.
Chris, anything? I mean, I guess MAHQ now can rent a car, right? Don't you have to be 25 to rent a car?
Yes, correct.
So it can rent a car now. So that's
rent a
good.
car. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
not gonna, but it could.
Yeah. And Sobro, it's at gundam.bsbsky.social. I think
there you go.
The way you look at it.
Perfect.
There you go. So
that is us.
But yeah, Chris, any other things outside of the pending birthday for MAHQ?
Just again a reminder, make sure you check MHQ on April 1st if you're listening to this on the live stream, and if you are listening to after, go check anyway.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us for episode 310. We'll be back in a few weeks with episode 311. Oh wow, that's I guess we're a 90s ska group, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah. 311. Oh man, the bevy of one-hit wonders from the 90s.
Hell yeah.
I guess I had like 2 hits. But we'll be back in a few weeks. Thanks for listening. Take it easy.